What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. If you like the content, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell.
This is light work. Come on, spill the tea, yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you that these objects are actually the exact same color? Go ahead and pause this video and put your finger through the middle of the two objects and see for yourself. Or
hey, y'all pause the video and try this. Let's see what's going on. What you mean?
You can just watch me do it and see that they are actually the exact.
Hey, y'all try this and tell me what y'all see. Hold on. Same color.
Same color. This is called the color contrast illusion, also known as the Mach effect, named after Ernst Mach, who discovered that the way that your brain perceives color contrast allows for this type of an illusion. In this example, they put a very white, bright line in between two objects of the exact same color, making your brain believe that the lower object is actually lighter. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other examples. Are these the same colors? Or if you start to take away the line in the middle, are they actually the same? Using the Mach effect, artists have been able to create other illusions using just lines and light contrast, like this one where it actually looks like there's movement in the middle of these lines, like electricity running through. Lastly, we have this one, which is a little bit different. As you bring the image closer to you, that light in the middle appears to expand.
Hey, I want y'all to try this real quick. Hold on. That's crazy. That's pretty wild.
And become larger. And then as you distance yourself from the image, that light in the middle becomes smaller. Did you see all of these? And as always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down.
Now that's pretty crazy, man. Them optical illusions, man, they really had your mind clicking, won't they?
Computer case double as a display case. Whatever you want in there, figures, models. You're showing off your custom PC build and your custom Lego build.
I'm not even a gamer, but I want one of those just to sit inside my living room.
At the same time. Oh, that is so cool.
And why security not doing that? They watching. How's security scared?
Do you remember a few years ago when people were buying these abandoned missile silos? And either they were renovating them or companies were renovating them to turn them into a living facility in case of an apocalypse? That was really big a few years ago. Do you remember that? And then it was all over the news earlier this year that people like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk were building these massive underground bunkers.
Yeah, I'll definitely remember that. It made me want to go get a bunker. Cause they had TV shows about doomsday prep and building bunkers out of old train carts and stuff like that. But I still want one because you never know these days.
Just in case? In case of what? You know, these stories of turning abandoned missile silos into a place where you could live in case things got bad were really big. Those stories were big and then they disappeared like that. Only, like I said, to come back for a little while at the start of the year. And even though the stories are mostly gone, I'm sure these silos turned into houses or whatever you want to call them are still being built. Just nobody's talking about it anymore. You know, whenever something weird is in the news and nobody ever really disputes it, then it disappears like we're not supposed to even remember it happened. I always start to wonder, was there a little more to it than we're being told? What do you think about this? You think this stuff's still going on? You think they're still building underground bunkers just in case for the super uber rich? Or do you think it was just a flash in the pan idea? Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo Bushkis! Shabadoo!
I'm trying to figure out why is NASA just now warning us about this asteroid that can actually destroy the sun. By the way, it will be here in 5 years. The name of this asteroid is Apeps or Apophis. Back in ancient times, Egyptians feared this event. God of Destruction asteroid Apophis will come to Earth in 2029. They are telling us it's going to miss this planet, but I don't think so. The Egyptians left us so many warnings about what happened back in their civilization because they understood what happened to them and what happened to us. This is artwork or warnings in the background of Ra actually fighting Apep. Apophis is the Serpent God, but not just any God, the God of all destruction. This was the only asteroid or serpent that can destroy the sun. You hear about these stories a lot, but sometimes we get it confused because these entities have so many different names and we take these stories literal. There was an ancient war back up in heavens. Ra, the sun god, was the only one to defeat the serpent of God of destruction. But the only thing that can defeat the sun god Ra was the serpent. They said this asteroid was so dark that it will actually swallow the sun. Last time they tracked this asteroid, they found out it was in the starry constellation Centaurus. Centaurus is not that far from us. This is why most of these elites are getting these bunkers ready, because they understand that a great serpent god is coming back to destroy everything on this planet. The reason why they put a giant serpent on top of the Empire State Building. We had small-minded people that will say it's because House of Dragons. No, this is a deeper message. Main reason why Taylor Swift is always surrounded.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and that Scholastic Reader said it was gonna come close enough to hit the Empire State Building. That's what's so deep, man. Dude hit it on the head for him to say Empire State Building and say something about the serpent and it symbolized Apophis.
By serpents. Megan Thee Stallion, surrounded by all serpents. They are trying to give us warnings and messages through TV, movies, and books, but we don't take the warning. So within 5 years, we will have the serpent god of destruction come back to our planet and destroy everything. But I want people to understand why this is happening. Everyone is waiting for a messenger to come and save them. All you have to do is pay attention to the 4 first letters in messenger. You get mess. This planet is such a mess. It had to be destroyed so it can start all over again. So while you are waiting for your messenger, the destroyer will come and clean up the mess that everyone created on this planet.
But dude on over here. Look like they might have just sped up the frame. Okay.
There's the doggy.
I think my seagull barks. What's this?
Why are
Did the bird just start barking like the dog?
our shadows not as dark as the bar shadows?
That definitely looked like a power line or a line instead of a shadow. What's going on here? Oh yeah, the cat behind the dog.
Seriously, leave the UK whilst you actually have the chance. This is the final straw. This is the final straw, lads. So as I'm sure you know, a lot has been going on in the UK in the last sort of 6 months with loads of new laws coming into place. Like literally unflavoured air is going to be the next thing to be banned at this rate. Now of course our leader at the moment, Mr. Rishi Sunak, one of the major points of his manifesto saying when he gets in, he will bring back national service. This just got 10 times worse. So from the start, when he announced national service would be coming back, he said it won't actually be enforced. So it's not like you're going to go to jail if you refuse to go, but there will be sanctions and incentives. So we don't know what the incentives incentives are going to be. It'll probably be like 50p an hour or something. But he said subtly, well, we're not sure what we are going to do to people, but most likely they are going to look to take away your driving license or ban you from accessing your finances.
National service is going to be compulsory. How will you make people do it?
All sorts of things that people do across Europe, whether that's looking at driving licenses, other access to finance.
Access to finance?
Access to finance, that's basically saying that they gonna cut off your ability to live, because without money, how you gonna buy food?
So if people don't want to do national service, what, you're going to take their bank cards away?
Genuinely share with a friend and hit that follow button, and I'll keep you updated.
Alright, what's Buddy on? Oh, I'm calling Cat. I'm calling Cat. I'm calling Cat. I'm calling Big Cat. I'm calling Big Cat.
Listen to this bullshit, yo.
From drones to airplanes, even satellites, your insurance company may be watching from above. Did this cause some sleepless nights? In San Francisco,
instead of going house by house,
Jeremy Solterbeck was stunned after he received a notice that Safeco Insurance, his carrier for more than a decade, wasn't renewing his policy.
I couldn't believe this is how they decided, based on a tiny drone image, that we weren't worth insuring anymore.
When he pushed
this is the first step. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is the first step.
To show that the presence of dirt indicates that water has pooled and dried out.
And he's not alone. Consumer advocates say across the country, insurance.
They're using drones now to surveillance and then determine if you're eligible to be covered for insurance. That's wild. Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Insurance companies are dropping some customers based primarily on aerial photographs. In Virginia, Elizabeth Davis was sent this photo that her insurance company said showed discoloration and streaking on her roof.
Look, if you trying to own a home or something,
panic attack. Her options: repair the damage or replace the entire roof. She found another carrier.
Sometimes there needs to be facts checked in order to make sure that the underwriting is correct. So,
Sean Kevlin with you.
I mean, insurance companies already scamming people. Now they're getting more ways to rip people off. It's ridiculous out here.
Insurance Information Institute says insurers are also searching for issues like undeclared trampolines, excessive yard debris, and overhanging trees, which can increase the risk of a loss.
Don't be surprised if y'all see a drone over y'all crib.
Innovation to make sure that they have all the variables possible to best underwrite.
EagleView is one of the companies providing aerial images to the insurance industry, but they say their drones are only used to check out damage quickly when someone makes a claim. CEO Piers Dormeyer says the technology benefits the consumer and insurer.
This imagery, whether it's coming from an airplane or it's coming from a drone, is something that it's going to be part of the decision to potentially cancel a customer or raise their policies or potentially even lower them.
I need y'all to understand that's just one step to some sneaky shit going on. I'm telling y'all this, man. Wait up! So now, archaeologists just found a description of the Simpsons characters over 3,000 years ago in an Egyptian mummy tomb.
What's going on with these Simpsons, man? They always predicted some stuff. Now they back there in the past? What's going on? I really want to hear what this dude got to say about this.
And you know, considering everything surrounding the Simpsons on, you know, how they be getting their predictions right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now that brings me to the question, where did the Simpsons originate from? Because this was like 3,000 years ago. Is that Margaret? The TV show is only like 20 years old. Gang, seriously, the whole storyline behind the Simpsons is a mystery. Yep, and now we find the 3,000-year-old hieroglyphs that came from the Simpsons.
Yeah, Margaret.
Well, we don't actually know it came from The Simpsons. It kind of resembles it. It can be anything. Could have been faded over time or wherever the case may be. But that'd be pretty neat if it did actually originate at the original Simpsons.
Especially when we seeing parts of the episode take place in real life. Yep, go ahead, call Scooby-Doo in the gang because we have a mystery.
Morbid Facts, Part 278. In 2013, American sniper Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield were tragically shot dead at a Texas shooting range by Eddie Ray Routh, a schizophrenic Iraq War veteran suffering from severe PTSD. After agreeing to become the young vet's mentor, Chris decided to take him to a local gun range in their first meeting together. But during the drive there, Chris apparently realized that Routh was far more unstable than he signed up for, texting his buddy, "This dude is straight up nuts." Moments after pulling into the range, Routh grabbed 2 pistols and fired a barrage of bullets into both men, killing them instantly.
Ooh. See, first of all, if I would have had that much sense to text my friend that this guy nuts, I wouldn't even never went to no gun range with dude. Like,
Routh was found guilty of the murders and sentenced to life in prison. In 1948, George McLaurin became the first black man admitted to the University of Oklahoma, but was forced to either sit outside the classroom or in the corner away from the white students. He was quoted saying, "Colleges looked at me like I was an animal." His name still remains on the honor list as one of the top 3 students in the university.
Have y'all seen what's going on once again with Wyoming? This guy woke up and discovered a huge fault line had just been created around his road that leads to his house.
So now the earth breaking apart? Ooh, gotta be careful. And if that really is a fault line, I wouldn't be walking around or strolling all casually around there.
Not just one, y'all, but multiple fault lines, y'all. The dragons are waking up. Check this out, y'all.
You ready for something wild? That's a fault line. Crack goes up there, comes down here, crosses our road here. This is all sinking in here. Like that, it's literally moving. You can see it. Cross all the way through there, all the way on that hillside. How deep that is? It's probably a good 2 feet deep. Like it just unearthed that. But that's not even wild.
I'd be so nervous over there, standing over that crack like that. Like, what if it just crumble and you fall in?
This part. I gotta take a step back to show you. That's our road. It moved about 5 feet that way. This is where we used to drive. And that's where it moved to. Wow.
So why isn't this on the news?
You're driving over top of it, actually.
You heard him? He said it's scary driving over it. But why isn't this on the news? Why isn't this on the news, y'all? Like, TikTok is doing a great job of showing these type of things.
There's one happening there. And like 5 more down this road. But this is the worst one so far.
Yep.
People who knew too much and the government killed them to silence them. Flight MH17, July 17th, 2014. It was shot down by a missile. Among the passengers were more than 100 scientists who were carrying the cure for cancer. Luis Donaldo Colosio, March 23rd, 1994. He was running for president, murdered in Tijuana with a shot to the head, followed by another shot to the abdomen. Mark A. Smith, 1965 to 2010. He discovered the cure for Alzheimer's. Days later, he was found dead. His research disappeared. Avicii. It is rumored that he revealed very important information. The last time he was seen was in a hotel with 2 followers. 3 days later, they would find his body.
Hammer trick, maybe? Is it a flood or something? Upstairs flooding? I don't see no water. Oh.
Is this behemoth-sized dragon or leviathan the pure evil that Buzz Aldrin was talking about when he came back from Antarctica and made a very cryptic tweet? A tweet that read, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself." A few months back, I did a video on this talking about how that giant animal blew out what used to be connected here between South America and Antarctica. But I think it's time to revisit it, because right now, this guy is all the rage. People talking about how he could be waking up from a long hibernation and even causing this tremendously bizarre pattern coming from Antarctica of giant waves and heat. And while I'm not ready to subscribe to the theory of that thing waking up, I do want to point some things out, like Deception Island, which just happens to be extremely close to that giant snake dragon leviathan head.
Caves, portals. Among many fascinating cave mysteries you'll encounter, you'll find this repeated theme and pattern of caves being portals. From the Bible and many other sources that we're about to cover, plus this really fascinating Moses-Elijah time nexus, possible time travel mystery we'll close with later. From Muhammad receiving the word from Gabriel inside of a cave, where he would get the information he would write the Quran from, to Steve Jobs, who stayed in a cave, trained with some guru, had some visions inside of a cave and came back with all this technology that he would then use to start the iPhone with. Fascinating story. Kind of implies meeting with a spirit being. In Hindu, a cave is the most holy site. The Ellora Caves, shrine and temple, is where Shiva revealed secrets.
Innumerable secret passageways, caverns, corridors, and labyrinths. And it was said that these caves went to an underground super cave where there were energy machines and other ancient devices from the world before.
And this place looks just like the gates of hell, which is a cave inside of Mount Hermon. That whole area, Mount Hermon in Israel, is where Enoch says the fallen angels descended. There's also a UN base there with lots of protection, probably portals and other weird stuff. In Greek mythology, Zeus was born in a cave. Da Vinci, one of the greatest geniuses, has really fascinating cave mysteries where he disappeared in a cave for 2 years. Missing years of time, coming back with all sorts of inventions and fascinating ideas and genius level stuff that other people couldn't come with. This whole side rabbit trail of geniuses and where that word genius comes from kind of comes from jinn and the implication of extraterrestrial or spiritual, not of this world intelligence guiding them. Super side rabbit hole about childhood testing for geniuses, IQ testing, certain programs like GATE and other MK Ultra rabbit holes that I might get into. What are they trying to filter out of the public at an early age? Also, with people like Da Vinci disappearing in caves and coming back with technology inventions, are they part of this technology rollout program that has to do with the reset patterns and when technology is allowed to be released back into the public again? Seemingly for the first time though. In Vietnam...
That does make sense, because they always come up with stuff and they say that we always 50 years behind technology. So, stuff they're coming out with now, they had 50 years ago.
The San Dong Cave, plenty local sightings of reptilian beings that come out of the cave and resemble form of seraphim. Also fallen seraphim, who wouldn't say they're fallen, live underground in inner earth according to Kabbalistic traditions. And US soldiers in Vietnam said they saw the same thing. Quote, upright lizards in caves. Are they all seeing the same thing? Plug to the Theory of Everything playlist, an ancient dragon thread that you'll see all throughout the ancient world. Moving into Peru, where they also have the Amaru serpent deities, pattern continued, there's this doorway of the Amaru Meru, this door right into the cave. Shamans with special keys that open this door, only they have the access. Probably with a special artifact, or a certain tone or utterance or DNA activation, or combination of the above. Legends of Shambhala, things in the Himalayan mountains, or things inside of Mount Shasta, where there's plenty of legends of people literally coming through portals and walking right into a wall and disappearing into the cave. They say they see tall blonde beings there, which is the same thing the Mexican Tara Amaru say they see. Tall blondes that come through doorways in caves. Seems like caves are portals.
Well, I believe that because you live in a cave, you ain't get no exposure to sunlight, so you would be tall and blonde, probably.
To me.
They definitely believe that caves are a conduit to communicating with non-human entities.
It's almost as though they're opening a doorway into a spiritual consciousness in which they're able to communicate with these divine beings and hopefully become divine themselves.
Also the ant people and Hopi legends of where they came from, and other Native Americans to say their origin is coming up from cave systems from out of the earth to the earth, and that was their origin. Caveman, huh? New paradigm for that phrase, maybe. Especially seeing how the ancients were completely wise, the opposite of what we've been taught. Speaking of evolution, how about the idea of intelligent dinosaurs evolving? Why were humans the only ones to evolve? Harvard speculates on this in a recent article that I'll come back to in a second, but the idea of intelligent dinosaurs evolving into sentient reptilians. Basically, they're just mixing words. Basically, all of this stuff with the cave portal theory kind of ties in everything from the inner earth theory to missing 411, even things like DUMBs and military installations, and other UAPs that just disappear into cave systems or underground somewhere. Also, did angels build Derinkuyu for chosen people to survive, reset cataclysmic pattern-like events? Was this the same angelic technology that built the Ellora caves, tunnel systems, and temples in India? Might be. Also, this ice cave, if you look at it, really looks like you're kind of looking at the sky. Firmament tie-in. Enclosed caves are mysterious in general. You can't just walk in any cave. There's lots of dangers, things you can and can't smell. That can be harmful to breathe. Things like whether the water is bubbling or not, or moving when you walk in. Also, speaking of the nose and scent, the olfactory system seems completely spiritual and linked to discernment. Some accounts of Jesus' birth have the manger as actually a cave, and we know his death was buried in a cave. Plus, there was angels there at that cave. The portal of resurrection power. What are caves? What are mountains? What are volcanoes? All worth a second look. Especially considering that Harvard article I mentioned speculates that the moon might actually be a base, an observation base. Probably the Watchers because, well, they watch. If you study the Bible, you find a really fascinating thread. Things with Elijah and Moses' life parallel each other in a lot of ways, aside from each doing a 40-day fast, and possibly being the two witnesses, which I might come back to later. You'll see each of them have incidents in caves. Aside from Elijah living in a cave, they each have an incident where they see the Lord in a cave, tucked into the cleft of it. I'm wondering if both of these incidents are a time nexus that actually tie into the Transfiguration, where you see there's a time nexus where Jesus sees Elijah and Jesus sees Moses, and Peter even sees them and offers to build a tabernacle for them. Funny, he knows exactly who they are too, even though he's obviously never seen them in real life. Funny how the spirit realm works. I'm wondering at the time Elijah lived and the time that Moses lived, when they independently had the cave experiences, if they were all linked together on some sort of common ground, and that's what happened at the Transfiguration, where they all met together, when Jesus was seeing the law and the prophets. Time travel mysteries for another day. Don't get lost in any caves. See you right back here. Same Batcave time, same Savage Truth channel.